So okay.
Maybe we can start if it's okay for everyone. So I think so. Basically, we have been talking about all of these tools for yesterday and today. So now the idea is that we look a bit into detail on each of the tools, on how they work, and how the SRI assessment can be facilitated by the tools that have been developed and that are still being implemented. So basically, we will have here the tools developed by the SRI to Market tool, the easySRI tool, the Smart Square, the Evelixia, IEPB, and Smart RPC. And before going on, I forgot to present myself, although almost 90% of the room knows me. I'm João Coleto from the Portuguese Energy Agency. And besides working on the SRI to Market project, I'm also in Portugal working in the SRI test phase in Portugal. So, we will, as I mentioned, do this live demo of the tools. Bear with us because there is some technical changes that need to be done. So, but I think we can be flexible on how we manage this. And the idea is that, we get some feedbacks, some questions, and also try to get from people that are not totally linked to the tools, their possible user experience seen from a side and on a very quick show, understand your expectations and also collect ideas. If you have someone like, I don't like this green part, please change it to yellow, for instance, something like that. We can change this kind of thing. So, without further ado, because now what's interesting now is to look at each one of the tools. I will pass the floor to Maria. I will also not present her. She has been presented quite often today. So she works at the CENER, the National Renewable Energy Center from Spain. And she will present the tool suite. So it's actually more than a tool that were developed in the SRI to Market. So
okay, thank you, Joao, for giving me the floor. Okay, I'm not going to work or on the keyboard.
Probably you need to accept the conditions.
Well, I'm not going to repeat myself about the why SRI to Market. As you know, our main objective is to support the member states to roll out the SRI instrument into the national regulations and so on. For this, we have provided several tools. This time I'm going to introduce you the SRI to Market tool suite that is okay. No. Okay. That is composed, as previously said today, by two different platforms. The e-learning platform, accessible via learning.sri2market.eu, open, free access via a valid Google account. And then is the SRI assessment tool, available at sri2market.eu. Its assessment tool has a public part and a private part. The private part is accessible via individual login credentials. For this workshop, I have prepared this user and password, SP 2025 password SRI2Market. So it's possible for you if you want to go into the tool. The registration for the e-learning platform is very easy, just with a valid Google account. It's true that you need the verification and confirmation of your email and your data and so on. But then you can access this platform where we have 7 different courses available. As I said in the morning, 7 official EU languages: English, French, Croatian, German, Spanish, Portuguese, and Greek. So the e-learning platform is composed by these 3 steps training itinerary. These 3 steps are are called level 1, SRI user, level 2, SRI beginner, and level 3, SRI expert, as I said in the morning. Level 2 gives you access to the assessment platform granted with the login credentials. And level 3, is when you become an expert. You have submitted a specific project conducted in a real building for the current state and for suggestion of improvement, of upgrade of the SRI. When this submission is validated by the technicians from the SRI to market project via a peer-to-peer review process, you could become, you achieve the level 3, the SRI to market, the SRI expert badge, and become a SRI expert, as I said in the morning. Now it works. Okay. As I mentioned, after you complete the level 2 of expertise through the e-learning platform, you can access to the assessment tool. Well, about the assessment tool, it's user roles in connection also with these levels of expertise. We have these 5 different user roles for the platform, for the assessment platform. The super administrator is the programmer of the tool, the national administrator, the national coordinator, and then level 2 is the trainees that want to become SRI expert, and then level 3 is the level of assessors, SRI experts. So let's see what functionalities are covered by each of these user roles. Well, the level 2, you can access to the private part of the tool, so you have access to develop projects, to the help of, you have access to the professional translation, to the help button with the fact sheet of e-learning materials. You can access to the suggestion of automatic improvement measures, and you can access also to the estimation of the energy impact factors according to the ISO 52120. Also, you can upload your comments, your justification comments, and pictures or images for justification of the functionality levels selected for each service. Level 3, besides, you can access to the accreditation of the program. Your user account is highlighted in golden letters, and also the projects developed by this user role are part of the official database, we could say. Okay, this data will be part of our aggregated data for assessment, for extract conclusions, for instance, for the Spanish testing phase. Okay. Well, the figure of the role of the national coordinator is important because they could view the administrator page, but a simplified administrator page. Okay, they can download all data in a CSV format. They can download the projects. They can view all the projects in the country, and so they could now provide inspection and control, and also view catalogs from the administration page. The difference with the national administrator is that this user role also is able to create and edit catalogs, okay? Modify catalogs, the content of the catalogs, the scores of the functionalities, the weighting factors, and so on. So it's a higher level of management. Also, we have a public area of the tool. No login credentials are required. So here you could access to aggregated data, basic exploration of the aggregated data, and also an advanced benchmarking with more assessment, graphs, and so on. Also, we have a quick exploration section that we have just incorporated to the tool for non-experts to check how could be the score of your building, just asking three basic characteristics of it, like the age of construction, the climatic zone, and the building typology. And finally, we have also open to the general public the facts section, okay? So I would like now to show you the tool. I don't know if I am doing this correctly because the Chrome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the tool then. I don't know if I'm going to manage this without mouse and so on, but okay. Here we can see that, for instance, these tabs, new project and project list, are only available under the private zone, okay, with login credential. But all of these, the basic benchmarking, the advanced benchmarking, the quick exploration, and the fact section are open to the wide audience, okay? You can check here, go and select the building characteristics, or if you are interested, maybe if you don't put anything, for instance, here, we can see, okay, the whole, I'm pushed here by mistake, sorry, in advanced benchmarking. I'm going to come back here. Okay, we submit the filter black. We can see the whole database with the total number of cases and the histograms regarding with the percentile 25, 50, and 75. Okay, also, really quickly, because I don't know if I have time. The advanced benchmarking, as I previously said, this is in Italian. We can see here more advanced control of the database of check the aggregated data as we want. For LETI stands for different levels of expertise, level 2 or level 3. We are able also to check here the projects of the non-SRE experts. We can filter here by non-residential, residential, if the building state is original, renovated, or if this the project is a part of the official test phase or not, okay? And now if you move on through the different screens of the Power BI, you can check different graphs that we have considered interesting, no? For instance, the relation with the SRE with the EPC class, or the correlation between the key functionality levels, as you can see here. We have a very clear correlation, no, between the key functionalities 1 and 2, for instance, you can see here. So we can see different assessment, different evaluation of the aggregated data to extract conclusions. Of course, we can also filter by country or whatever you want. Okay, another functionality that I mentioned before that is open to the wide audience is the quick exploration for non-experts in the subject. We can also select our climate, for instance, for Spain. No, you can see here for Spain is the south. So if I select the South Europe, if I select, I am interested in non-residential office building and a building constructed between 19th and 2010. We can calculate here, and the tool is able to provide you a best guess of the possible score of this building, and also suggest you a medium upgrade and a high standard upgrade for this building. No? As you can see, the minimum score estimated is this, is around 4%, and this medium and high standard upgrade present higher SRE score globally, and also disaggregated by key functionalities. Also, we can check here, we can open the cases, we can open the current situation, the medium upgrade, and the high standard suggestion. Just clicking here, you are able to check the whole case, the whole project associated to this situation, okay? This is an estimation, but it's a quick check provided by a default database provided by experts in the field. Okay, the last task for open to the public is the fact section. We have divided the questions around these categories, this classification, first steps, regulation, official testing phase, calculation methodology, technical domains, triage, input forms, quick exploration, training, and general questions. So we can go through each of these sections and find a list of questions that is continuously updated during the project lifetime. We can see here the question and the answer, and also we can see it in detail. And okay, this is not working. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the Chrome Explorer. No problem. Then private area, okay, protected by login credential. If we would like to create a new project, for instance, we needed the login credential. In this case, I'm going to put the user and password generated for the Congress is P25, I think. It's a way to market. No. Yes, I don't remember. Okay, let me check in the PowerPoint. 2025. As an explanation. Okay. This is This is a basic login credential. So with this, I won't be able to open the administration page. Okay, but okay, since it's not my computer, I think it's better just to do it like this. So when you would like to create a new project, you need to fill in first all these input forms for general data, assessment, general data regarding the calculation methodology, the classification, the weighting factors, and so on. Some building data information, some accessory information, also the selection of the technical domains to be assessed. And something that is also implemented in this tool is the possibility to upload an IPv file. Okay, the IPv file is follow a common data format developed under the IPv project. If you have some questions, you could chat with Eva, the project coordinator. But the point is that the SRI2 market is able to exchange data according to this IPv format. It's able to upload the IPv format and it is able to download IPv format. Okay, so to make a demonstration of this, I'm going first to the project list. Okay, in the project list tab, we will find all the projects developed under our user account. Each project you can see that could be modified, delete, duplicate. We can generate automatically a suggestion package for upgrade the SRI score according to the bus class of the ISO standard to become the class A or to become the class B. Okay, when we push all of this, each of these button, a new project is generated and some specific functionality levels are upgraded to get this class of the bugs according to the ISO standard. And finally, we have here this button, also the download button, that is able to download the whole project, all the data included in the project, inputs and outputs, into the IPv format. okay, that is composed by different files into this package of information to be able to exchange data across different software and platforms for different EPB assessments. So when we have done all this, we also are able to upload this. I don't know, okay, here, download, we have here, and we can save, and automatically we have here a new project, okay? It's a new project, I have not changed anything of the project, no name, no input data, so it's like duplicate the project. But the point is that we will be able to download this data, open it in another platform, change anything you need, and then upload again this project into our platform.
I'm sorry to hurry you, but we are already.
That's all, more or less. So I can talk until you let me.
If I knew that.
Okay, it's fine.
It was my
Because
fault.
okay.
No,
Because you know that the rest is like the rest of platforms we everybody know. No? We have all the technical domains, the list of services, and you need to select the functionality levels and so on. And okay.
Okay.
No.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria. I think we could have, 1 hour and a half for each tool, but this is not possible. So I don't know if you have any very specific questions while we change speaker. Just go ahead. We don't have much time, but you can also, in the end, place your questions. So right now, I'd like to call Pukaras.
Unfortunately, Paraskevas is not here.
Yes.
He had some obligations and needed to leave.
So
I will present.
Stavros will present. He's from CERT, the Center for Research and Technology, specifically Information and Technologies Institute, and he will present us. So you have maximum of 15 minutes to present your platform. And it's the easySRI, one of the tools, easySRI.
So hopefully I will be able to present adequately now. The project is easySRI, benchmarking, plan ahead the easySRI. Okay.
I was here in this room earlier.
Okay. So here you have the QR code in order to scan and go to the platform of the project. So here we have a tool for assessors and building owners that are able to perform the SRI assessment in a faster way, as you will see later on. Typical use cases, we are talking mostly about single building audits or multi-site benchmarking. And as said, you can scan the QR code. We have the features. These have been referred also to the previous presentation, so I will go through faster. We can have the SRI calculation wizard, something like more modern than the Excel sheet that we are all familiar with. And we have also a chatbot that enables you to make the SRI calculation. We also have recommendation systems that proposes some actions in order to upgrade the SRI score, the investment portfolio, a dashboard with all the results, and the data and reporting page. Okay, Paris had some. It was a video. Okay, so regarding some few words about the AI-powered SRI assistant. Here we have something like a chatbot that we are able to talk and perform the SRI assessment and get some extra information about the SRI. It is user-friendly, so we can access it whenever we want. It is efficient and works smoothly within the easySRI framework. The SRI Express is the chatbot that guides you through the SRI assessment steps in order to perform the assessment in a faster and more user-friendly way, reducing errors. It indicates a 60 to 80 reduction in the assessment time. We have also a video. Here we have recorded in video the whole SRI assessment. So I will play both of them in parallel to see how the SRI assessment is performed. So as you can see here, you can go and click according to the questions being made. And on the parallel, we use the platform as it is a standardized platform. As you can see, we are in heating and controlling. This goes much faster than the other one. So after a few minutes, it will take something around 1 or 2 minutes, and the other one. So this is finished now. Okay, and here we are at the domestic hot water page, let's say. So what we have at the end of the day, a much faster SRI assessment. I'm not sure.
With the same result still.
With the same accuracy?
More or less. I guess for smaller buildings, we have the same level of accuracy. Each tool has its own target audience and focus, or building audience, let's say, target buildings. Here we are talking about bigger buildings with more complex systems that we want to make a more accurate assessment, while in this case we can have something like smaller flats that we want to have a quick and easy assessment. So I won't spend more time on this tool, but now it is finished, while with the other one, the things were much faster. In this slide, we also have a dashboard for the building portfolio management. So in case we have numerous SRI assessment, we have a dashboard in order to see the scores, the overall scores expressed, simplified, and the detailed assessments, the location of our buildings, as well as a distribution of the SRI ratings and comparisons per groups, let's say. Proceeding to the investment portfolio tool, here we have two options, the SRI optimizer, which is based on cost categories, and the renewable energy system and the battery energy storage system optimizer. Here we get a set of recommendations on what actions we should take in our building. Here you can see the SRI. In these screenshots, you can see how it works. So we select our building, we select our certificate, the ID of our SRI certification, the country, and we state how budget do we intend to allocate on this investment. Therefore, an algorithm runs in the back and sees which are the better solutions in order to do in our buildings that can help us optimize both the SRI score and, as I said previously, the renewable energy and battery storage. So that was all pretty much about the easySRI. I don't know how fast or slow I
It
was.
was really fast.
Really fast.
Perfect. It's the easiest already.
The first SRI Express.
That's for another project. SRI.
This is the point of the project, to be fast.
Great.
So thank you very much. And thank you for the time you took. It was perfect, but we have time for some questions.
In the very first or second slide, I saw many flags. Like how many member states is applicable? Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm not so involved in the project, okay? But as you can see here,
24.
Is it meant for all member states? Or something like that? Okay.
Maybe there is an automatic translation, no? It's just a language, probably that is.
Yes, there are some that are in beta version. I remember from the morning. Most of them are in beta version and have not been thoroughly verified. So probably some kind of, I don't know. But it's beta, so it's not properly verified. And then there are ones that are not beta that are properly verified.
I'm also asking, apologies for, asking questions, because I also wanted to ask Maria about, maybe I know a little bit, but I understand that in SRI to market, the tool is somehow adjusted to member states' conditions.
Yeah,
With weighted
we tried
factors and
indeed for France.
especially.
We
it was
customize
really
specifically
clear.
according to the definition of their official testing phase.
This is why I would check if this is the case also for easySRI, because I think this is maybe something different.
I don't know if these flags refer to also the changes in the weightings. Most probably they are, because I have seen the calculation tool behind, so it supports different weighting factors per country. And most probably it is also the languages of the platform as well. What you are referring maybe is when you do, how many are they? There is a selection for the country. Now, here, this is the selection for the country. So here
you
you
start
get the.
already from the beginning by the country.
Yeah, it is the first step, let's say. So there you get the selection for the weighting factors. The other flags were probably for the language.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I will now pass the floor to Pablo, please. Pablo from REVA, also you know from this morning, the Federation of European Heating, Ventilation and Air Conditioning Association, and he will show us the Smart Square tool, and go a bit into detail from what we have seen in the morning. So.
Yeah, it's opening.
It's opening, so.
Right, so quick disclaimer, Riva hasn't been the developer of the tool, so if you have specific questions, it's our colleagues from UFIA Tech, so Paris Focayus is the one and his team that did the work. Fortunately, Paris was supposed to do this session, but he couldn't join us, so I prepared this, but yeah, disclaimer, I might not be on point with all my answers depending on the detail of your questions. So there we go. So I will showcase the pending 3 main tools that the project developed, the other 2, so the SEM workshop agreement, the standardization efforts was presented in the SRI thematic track this morning, as well as the virtual training center. If you have some questions, we might get into some details on those 2, of course, but I will focus on the SRI Observatory, briefly on the SRI FAQ, and then on the Smart Ready Go, which is the web assessment tool that was developed as part of the project. All right, so the SRI Observatory, very quickly, there should be a video. Yeah, there we go. So this was one of the key results. This one was developed by Riva, and the intention is to have one single go-to place. It kind of mimics what some of the functionalities that the SRI official page of the European Union has at the moment. It includes some features that are not there yet, but the intention of Riva is to keep exploiting this, by the way, and to expand the scope of the SRI to transfer it into a EPBD observatory if you want. So the SRI information will remain to be there with the policy overview, what happened with each of the provisions. You can see here the SRI, but in the future you will be able to see other things. We have a transposition tracker that you can see what status in a visual manner of the different countries. Now it reflects the testing phase but in the future will reflect the implementation phase. So the idea would be that you will be able to cross-compare, for instance, service catalogs of Latvia and France and see what is applicable there, what is mandatory here, and also compare weighting factors and to extract that comparison. This was mentioned, actually, by the way, in the last panel of the SRI thematic track. So some of the companies mentioned that they have a international nature, so they are really interested in knowing the differences. Most of the information, as I said, comes from at the moment from the European Commission page. We also have a repository of the European projects that have been working on the topic, mainly the SRI sister projects, but we also keep track of the ones in the EPC cluster because the work started with those. We gathered the scientific research, and I'll try to stop here a moment because a lot of research, the SRI as a keyword is appearing everywhere now, but we are doing a thorough analysis to keep only the reference papers that are actually studying the SRI. Some of the papers are the result of a scientific approach to the testing phase, and some others are industry initiatives. But we are trying to keep all the keywords related to the SRI in research. So we see those terms that appear in the scientific articles that are being published in peer-reviewed journals, and anyone can download, by the way, the bibliography. If you're a researcher approaching the topic, we have done that filtering work for you. There's an SRI Outlook, which is a snapshot, a report that we publish every year on what happened on the SRI on a given year. And the last one shortly will come out in a few days. And we link with the SRI FAQ that, gathers the main doubts that we have been receiving as a result of the project. And again, probably this feels a bit redundant with the page of the European Commission now, but as I said this morning, this was written in the proposal before we saw everything, so probably. And this was developed actually by Cleopa, our colleagues in the project, and they are the ones that will keep the exploitation rights afterwards. So I'll move now to the Smart Ready Go. I prepared some of the videos because, the functionalities keep evolving, but I know that we're a bit tight on the time, so I wanted to ensure that I keep within the boundaries. If not, Joao, just let me know. So Smart Ready Go, accessible through the link, is open access, so anyone with a link can access the tool. I won't focus on the specifics of supports method A, method B. It has some tutorials. It reflects the technical framework developed by the SRI support team. It has an added functionality that I think is a bit different, so I'll focus on that, on the call center. It has several dashboards, similar to the other one. So the functionalities that are mainly the same, I will skip them. You already know them. And the virtual training center I presented this morning, there is a connection between the two, but not as strong as the one with the SRI to market. So in our case, you can do a training, learn about the SRI, and you can use the tool, the Smart Ready Go tool if you want, but you could virtually use any other tool because they're different. You don't get trained on the use of the tool, you get trained on the fundamentals of the SRI. You can contact them. And by the way, there's a stand there in the room. So if you want to have your live SRI assessment being done, just go there. So if you want more details, you can get your assessment through our colleagues from R2M that are, of course, also partners in the project. There we go. So the user experience is quite easy, kind of similar. So you create the new project, you define the information as you would in the spreadsheet. So I won't stop in the details there. This is, like Stavros also mentioned, a more user-friendly front end to actually perform SRI assessments. Of course, in the future, as an assessor, you won't be able to define whether it is mandatory or not. This will be tailor-made depending on what decision a given member state has already made. This, as an assessor, you would be able to say, this is applicable, this is not applicable based on the guidelines by the member states, but you won't be able to say, well, this is not mandatory, that is not up to you to decide, of course. Once you complete this first, let's say, triage process, you access everything, you decide whether you want to do method A, method B, and you access the actual nutshell of the procedure, which is defining the functionality levels. Again, you can define infinitive functionality levels in case there are split functionalities. You can say whether they are applicable, not applicable, and so on. So that's the flow that you would get. I'm gonna also, for the sake of time, go to the results page. But basically, yeah, you know this, so I'm skipping it because yeah, I don't want to burden you with you get the results that you would and in any other tool, and you can send it via email, export it to CSV, XLS, and then yeah, treat it afterwards in case you want to bundle different assessments together and issue a joint report. So that is in a nutshell what this tool offers. The tool at the moment offers the translation in every language, because I know that the ministers will ask that. So I'll already give the reaction, and that translation was supported by RIVA, so by our federation, so our experts from the 24 member states that we have. Those are the ones that provided the translations. So the tool, let's say, is not an automatic translation. It is proved in that way, but it does reflect the technical framework by default. So if you click on France, you will not experience what you experience now with SRI to market. This is coming, and I know this is for a fact one of the exploitation pathways of UFIA, but I won't get into the details because we guys not the exploitation part of the tool. So I don't want to say something that I might regret later. As I said earlier, one of the added values was this call center method. So we developed, similarly to the easySRI, this automated survey. So we condense method A in a way that by answering few questions, outlining the cross dependencies, if you have a lower functionality level on a given service, it is not possible that you have higher on another, even if they're from different technical domains. So that logic was deeply studied, and with the A-driven online survey, with the use of an entity called Pulfish, massive SRI assessments were done throughout Europe with a view not to substitute method B. We know that. We don't want to, especially not me, that I represent the building service engineers. We don't want to, put them out of business. But this is an easy way to get a snapshot on a country level. What is the status to measure the temperature of the SRI? But of course, they are not walk-through audits of buildings. There we go. So if we go here, more than 5,000 assessments were made, and you can visualize those. And this is a replicable model. So a given country might say, I'm interested to measure the temperature of the SRI in my country, and I don't want to have assessors going around. Can I do this quick survey? And Pulfish, this is the added value that they bring. So many assessments were done, automating this data gathering through either surveys online, phone calls. That's the service that they provide. This call center, and this actually was the PhD thesis of Nicolas Absentio from Addis team. So this is let's say, robust and built on science. So you're able, for instance, to get here the overview of the assessments that were conducted in Germany, and similar profiles exist for other European countries. So you're able to see the average functionality level for each of those services. Again, I wouldn't say the uncertainty. This doesn't claim to be actual SRI assessments, but because it has a wide pool of input points, it really might be representative of what is going on in the different countries. So yeah, many reports like this one's, different formats. You can see the functionality levels per service, per technical domain. This is, for instance, the case in Italy. So we see that we're far away from the high functionality levels at the moment. And this also can be visible through several dashboards. You can have a general dashboard that you can access without enrolling. If you already conducted your assessments, you can see your own. If you were certified with a training, then you can see which assessments were performed by certified assessors. So you see that the level of trustworthiness on the different assessments increases depending on the dashboard that you take a look at. Yeah, basically same functionality. So you filter and you start seeing how many assessments, which method, and so on in different countries or in every country. This is old. This is a video that was also used in the Klima conference. So the figures, and here Antoine, as our project advisor, will know when the deliverable is submitted. But if you access the tool now, you will be able to see what is our current status in terms of the assessments. So that's that. Sorry, it was too quick, but I was already feeling the looks from Joao. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them either now, later, dinner, tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I have.
Thank you very much, Pablo. I will call Eva you need to connect
Yes,
your.
the thing is just to connect this.
Okay, so as you connect, we can have some time here for a couple of questions. I don't know if anyone has specific questions for Pablo. So from the SRI market, very dedicated to making sure that the steps are taken, that the data that we are collecting is
doing
really validated, and that is also including some, for instance, brands own weighings. So and also develop additional tools like this based archetype solution to check what could be an SRI of our building. Then we have easySRI that seemed very easy, which is I think it's a good thing. So you can quickly get to a result, but then you have other layers if needed, and also here from the Smart Square a bit. Also the focus. It was interesting to see that you focused on the status around SRI with the observatory and also the training center, and each part connects, but somehow they can be independent, and that's interesting also. And Dimitris had one question.
I just wanted, I don't know if it is easy to reply to the public. Because in the morning we discussed a bit about this standardized procedure, and I suppose this is meant actually for real language, for real social health. Do you think we can somehow use parts of this procedure, of this standard, for all the easy, let's say, AI somehow?
No.
No.
The short answer, no. I think the standard is meant for a fully fledged audit. So you hire a team of experts that will come to this building, would spend between half a day, 2 days. We were discussing earlier this morning how long it would take. But for a quick AI-based chatbot, I'm the owner of my apartment, I want to know, that's two completely different worlds. So the standard aims to avoid the garbage in, garbage out. No matter how accurate the tools are, if the assessors gathering the input data of the buildings don't really know what they're gathering, no matter how accurate the tool is, because the result of the assessment will be questionable. So,
just maybe to see if some principles could be applied, but
I don't think so. Maybe some other.
in the future. Sorry.
Yes.
About the training materials that are developed by the projects, I've seen what are the so-called learning outcomes, etc., and the certification scheme. But have you assessed what were, let's say, the starting knowledge of the potential trainees, and what is there a sufficient pool of professionals that could be trained, or would that require to look for certain additional profiles that are not yet building auditors?
Go ahead. I'll say something later.
Okay. We asked them for their previous background at the end in a survey in order to check if they come from EPC assessors or HVAC designers or BAS designers and so on. It's true that most, at least in the Spanish course, that is what I manage myself, most of the students come from the EPC world. EPC assessors. Okay, I think they have a good background in general, knowing the building, building systems, building installations, and so on. But it's true that, there are many gaps about smart technologies, building automation and control systems. And some of them need to understand about control rules, BMS.
So they come rather from the EPC world, not from the BACs.
From the EPC world.
From the EPC.
EPC assessors
I
mainly.
can confirm also that for the Portuguese case, mainly EPC.
They are the interested people, no? It's one relevant stakeholder group because we are already involved in the certification process for the EPC. So they know more or less that the process should be similar for the SRI, but it's true that they need an additional knowledge in smart technologies.
If I may add something, at least for us at Market, there are 3 levels courses. The first one is for the beginner, just if you want to be aware. The second one is for some extra courses and the intermediate step. And then if you really want to become an expert, you really need to have a background.
Yeah.
I think this is also different. We can have like a quick training on the SRI, that's it. But then we need some background.
Yeah, I saw that you trained more than 500 people
Yeah,
this morning,
yeah.
and that the level 3 were only 116.
The level 3 only get for now in the case of Spain and 42. We still need to check and correct 19 submissions, but it's true that it's very time consuming
Mhm.
because I asked them for justification of the functionality level selection, and that show their real expertise when they try to explain why I select this functionality level, because this is the boiler, this is the, you need, I ask for the description, at least a basic description of the installation and how the service is managed at building level. Then when you check the justification, the comments, you see when somebody knows about it and when not. So it's very, very clear.
Just to add something, sorry, about the French context. In France, the EPC is better adapted to residential sector, and the people who were signed into the training course was mainly related to energy audit sector and consultancy companies. So we had not a lot of EPC assessors who were assigned into the training course. So it's some difference with another courses.
We totally share from the Smart Square perspective. It's similar what we're seeing. We're also starting to receive, and not because they are enrolled in the course, but because we're getting requests of companies that they want to train their staff. So building automation and control companies that they are hearing more and more about the SRI, and they want to use it as a selling tool, I would say, more of an, rather than being the potential assessors being trained. I think there's also a part of the demand. It's negligible at the moment, but I think it's quite relevant, of people that are saying, I need my staff to know what this is about because they understand that this is coming. So that's the only minor point that I would add to what was said already.
One more comment, if I may, sorry. At least in Greece, I try to contact the Association of Energy Auditors and do something together. Maybe explain with make a webinar or workshop together for all the energy auditors and they thought that it's too early to start. When they realize that it's only gonna happen in 2027. They told me, let's do it next year. Maybe now it's too early. And this is something like that. We need to find ways to also, attract all these people, because in the SRI market, usually we have like 600 people for applying already, for the first step, for the first level. But then it's difficult to convince them to go to the next level, and even more difficult to get them into, the level 3. But I think this will change in the future. But,
Also, probably the training materials needs an upgrade.
Upgrade, of course. Yes.
Okay, to better explain the functionalities and the smart technologies with real examples. It's a continuous process for improvement.
We also promoted it in a couple of universities, and we had the same experience. Many people started with level 1, but then they didn't want to move to second level. Some
We are
websites
very
were-
restricted
We
with
need to
our
give them something.
approach, but
But it makes sense that it's that way. Like, I put myself in the shoes of a practicing professional that has already a lot of work to do. So this is important, but it is not urgent for them. So
And
it's
So I'll have to, I'm
Yes,
sorry, but I have to
sorry.
do my role
Sorry.
of
Sorry.
moderating a bit the discussion, but keep on the ideas for the end, please. So I will let Eva explain. So Eva is from IDE, Institute, the Valencian Institute for Engineering, right?
Of building.
Oh, buildings, sorry.
Almost.
It was in French and in Spanish, and my brain didn't get there. And she will talk about the IPB, which interestingly was also mentioned by Maria, because this basically means the SRI to market tool also provides this input output with the IPB, let's say data model, if I can call it that way. And this is a good example of how this cluster actually works. Obviously, there are common partners that make it easier, but I think we have common partners in all projects, so this is a proof that it works. So Eva, please.
Okay, thank you. I will present from here because I could connect the PC, but not this, sorry, but it's not a problem. So, I explained that this morning, but very quickly, our main objective is to create an EPB common data model, to share, to take advantage of this shared common data of the different assessments. So we are developing this IPB schema to try to synchronize, to improve the synchrony between the multiple building assessments. And we are working with EPCs, SRI, and renovation passports for now, but it is completely scalable and open to any other evaluation. So very quickly, I think you may remember from this morning that we are developing an IPB web app that is a digital tool with two interfaces for building professionals and users that structures the data according to this IPB schema, this common data model, that ensures this compatibility with the different assessment tools. So the professional interface facilitates the data management across the multiple assessments, allowing all necessary data to be collected in a single one visit to the building, and it is connected with public and private databases. And the user interface displays the integrated multi-building assessment result in a single place and in a visual way. And we are also developing this API to integrate the data, for example, in national databases. So as you know, we are developing this SRI standalone application that I will explain now. And we are also implemented the IPB schema in the SEPAP tool to provide real performance data. And finally, we will develop this national policy recommendation. So, what is the SRI standalone application? Unlike the other very user-friendly applications, this is just a command line tool with a graphical interface developed in Python. It looks like this. And this application loads the SRI-related data included in the IPB schema. For example, the IPB format exported from SRI to market, for example, and calculates the total output and key functionalities results of the SRI in any country. So it can be adaptable to any national context. So at the end, it works as an SRI calculation engine and could be incorporated in any other existing tool. Okay, we are thinking in EPC tools. Okay. So we have these guidelines for the use of the SRI standalone application, and you can find the application in GitHub and on our website, and also in the European Commission's official SRI page. The functionalities of the application, well, it shows you what you can do with the applications. It can import the IPv format and export the IPv format. You can have the results printed in the screen, and you can extract the files inside the IPv format, because the IPv format contains two files, one XML, that is the GBXML, and the IPv-XML with the rest of the information. Okay, so it's not, this is another presentation. And you can also package the files because when you extract the files, you can change the data, and then you can package the file to IPv to recalculate, for example. We will see. And also you can show the version. What are the advantages? Well, it automatically performs the official SRI computation using the harmonized EU methodology, and it is adaptable to any national context. It is a core calculation engine, so can be easily integrated into national or commercial tools, avoiding duplicated developments and ensuring consistency across countries. And since it is built on the IPv common data model, it enables the seamless data exchange and reuse between different assessments, for example, EPC or renovation passport. So if I am going to a building and taking the data for an EPC, this data can be used also for the SRI. So I don't have to gather the data twice, and maybe I have errors if I do it twice, so on. And also, we provide integrated multi-assessment reports in the IPv web app. You can see here a screenshot. This is under development. And we think smarter renovation decisions when you have all the information together, for example, from the EPC, SRI, and the renovation passports. So let's see if I can use this not user-friendly application. So, as I mentioned, this application is not meant to be a standalone application. I mean, the idea is to be integrated in another application, but I would like to show how it calculates the SRI results. So, very quickly. Okay. Let me, here is where I have the application, okay? So I will use this file that has been exported from SRI to market. SRI to market already calculates the SRI, okay? But the ideal situation would be that EPC software is adaptable to SRI and has the data gathering for the SRI, but for now it's not the case. So I am using this SRI to market platform to show you how it works, okay? So in this file, I am going to show you, that this is how the IPv schema looks like. And here, okay, I have the results, and as you can see, we don't have the results calculated, okay? So to go quicker, I'm going to copy the codes, and I think it's easy. So if I want to, here, okay, if I want to see the results of the SRI, I put, okay, this is the input file, the no results IPv that I have some, and print the results. Okay. I can, okay.
The C, you have C,
Huh?
C double comma, and then you do CD and C again.
Okay,
You
where?
are already in C, in the C drive,
So,
so you have program files.
okay, now I'm a bit nervous, sorry. So I'm, okay, I'm
You say
inside.
second C?
And, okay, now I have
Okay,
it,
it's
okay.
right, it's right.
Yeah, I don't know why before I didn't have it. Okay, so as you can see, let me put this also there. As you can see, the IPv file was loaded and the results, we can have it now, so it calculates the SRI. So if we want to save the results in an IPv, I can do this, that this is the input file and this is the output file. So you will see here that the results file is created. So if I go to Notepad and see the results, now I have them in the format. So then I could move to the IPC software and continue my evaluations and see this in the IPv web app, so on. So another functionality that I would like to show is how we can adapt it to any national context by changing, for example, the weighting domains, for example. So for this, I have to extract the IPv format. So I'm going to do it. No, I'm not doing this, right? Ah, yes. Okay. So now in my folder, I have these files that, these are the files that are inside the IPv format. Okay. So now I can change it. Okay. So for example, oh, I went. Okay, for example, to see a clear difference, okay, in the results, I change here and I, oh, sorry. Yeah, and I save, okay, and to return to the IPv format, I have two packets, no, to come back to a single format. Okay, so yes, also I say this is the new output that I want and with these two files. Okay, so it has rewrite here the files. So I can calculate again. Okay, so you will see as the results now are different. For example, we change the comfort and the results are different. Okay, so this is how this SRI calculation curve works. So the idea is to integrate it in any assessment that wants to. That's all.
Thank you very much. I would just like to add to this because what's in practical useful of the format. In our case, I'm a moderator. I should not speak about our own case, but I will. In Portugal, I have my colleagues that are preparing the whole, let's say, data structure of the whole system, and they ask me, what are the outputs of the tools that we are using now? And I said, well, the functionalities and the SRI score and so on, and the detailed scores of everything. But then I also, but look, here is a data, a schema that you can also use, and this can be used as a basis also to prepare for the development of the tool that you will have to develop around the new EPBD. So this is something that can deliver all the inputs, all the outputs, and in a structured way that it can be useful for also to prepare the tools that each country will have to develop. and then with this importance of being able to exchange with other tools. So I will now give the floor to Sophie Dorlin. C'est bien ça?
C'est bien.
From R2M, you for sure know Sophie, and she will show us now here the tools for the Smart APC project. And here we will see also a link with what I have mentioned. So this was a good bridge on this EPC and SRI certification and what we can do to make it closer and bring together.
Thank you. So indeed, Smarter EPC, it's a sister project of IEPB. We've been selected through the same call topic, so we are also working on the integration of EPC and SRI, but with a different, completely different approach.
It's not intuitive, it's the other one.
Okay. Okay, so I'm not repeating this because Cécile presented this slide also this morning, and I think we have more or less the same audience. So we're starting from this policy context that is still a bit unsure. There are some novelties, let's say, in the EPBD, but it's still open how the SRI is going to be implemented and how is it going to be integrated or not with VPCs. This was also presented this morning, but I'm going to talk about that a bit differently. So we have let's say, we are doing a lot of things in the project, of course, but I would like to focus on these 3 building blocks that we have. The first one is this standardized on-site audit procedure that we want to be integrated so that an assessor, a building assessor that is visiting a building to conduct a performance assessment can collect the data that will allow them calculating the energy performance, but also the smart readiness. So we have this first block, and this input data should go into the Smarter EPC hub. That the main added value of this hub is to have this integrated data interface, because the hub is connected itself to existing EPC and SRI tools. So we are not redeveloping, recalculating SRI, etc. Other projects are doing this very well. So we are using this project instead. And then the idea is to have everything integrated into a joint certificate, even though for the moment we don't know whether or not member states are going to choose this, because SRI could be integrated into energy performance certificates, or there could be 2 separate certificates. Both options are possible. So focusing first on this, on the on-site audit procedure. So as you can see, this is what we want to cover with this single procedure that should cover EPC, SRI, but also HVAC inspections and renovation passports. This is the document that is being prepared, and we are very proud of this activity because we have recruited 23 building assessors from 12 countries, and they have been working on reviewing this procedure that was prepared by EPB Center experts. And in case you have any question, you ask André. And we are proud of this because these people, we have recruited them via various networks, and they are not used to work in EU projects or in this kind of activities, policy support activities. They are really working on the ground. They are building auditors, for instance. So for them, it's completely new. So it's not always easy for them, but at the same time, for us, it's very interesting, very rich, and very, well, what they are delivering is very practical, let's say. And we are going to continue this work, and the same assessors are going to review the training program that is also being developed. Next, I would like to talk of the other side. So this integrated certificate that could be presented to a building owner following this assessment. So you can see here, this is just a simple template. In blue is everything that corresponds to energy performance. In orange is everything that corresponds to smart readiness. And it is, of course, aligned with the EPBD requirements, since, as you know, in the new version of the EPBD, there are some mandatory elements that have to be included in EPCs. In SRI certificates, there are also some optional elements. So we have prepared this. We are going to maybe prepare other options or have different options. And we will also prepare some practical examples making use of this certificate. Actually, it's not, the Smarter EPC Hub is not going to deliver a certificate like this. Huh? It's something that at the moment we are doing manually. And so there is no single certificate delivered by the hub, but we want to show, illustrate how it could look like. And next, this is the hub. So I'm not going to demonstrate it. It's still under development. We already have some working version, but I'm not prepared to show it today. So as I explained, we are connecting existing tools to this single input data interface. And at the moment, we have these two tools, D-Square EPC and Smart Living EPC concerning the energy performance. And we have easySRI, Smart Square, and SRI to market concerning the SRI. So as you know, concerning the EPC, these tools have been delivered by EU projects. They are not the tools that are actually used in member states by official EPC assessors in order to deliver an energy performance certificate. Okay, so they are aligned with the 52,000 standard, and this creates some aspects that we have to take into account, but I will talk about that later. Okay, so this is just a description of what we are doing. So at the moment, as I said, it's still under development. Some challenges that we are facing. Of course, when we connect to existing tools, like those that I have presented, of course, there is the registration aspect and sharing of user accounts. Since we want the user to connect on the Smarter EPC Hub, the user should not necessarily be aware of which SRI or EPC tool is going to be used in order to calculate the energy performance and the smart readiness. But there is an issue with the user accounts or some specific requirements as well, prerequisites associated with the use of the tool. So for instance, in SRI to market, in order to use the tool, the users must first participate in the training program. So it's not something that they can do immediately. So there are a lot of things like this that we are working on. There are some difficulties concerning file formats, interoperability, and very importantly also the policy uncertainty concerning EPC, SRI, and their possible integration. And this is a super important aspect because we want our project to be, we are not going to deliver a hub, a tool that is going to work and to be applicable directly by member states. Because at the moment, we don't know yet, as I said, how EPC and SRI are going to be integrated by member states. Each country might choose the different options. And in addition, concerning the SRI, as you all know, we are all working with this EU-level technical framework, but that can be adapted by member states, and that will be adapted by member states for sure. So we have this, for instance, 54 services in the catalog for non-residential buildings. But who knows, maybe in one country we will have only 30 services in the end, in another country we will have more, we will have different choices that will be done. So we think that it's maybe not necessary to do something that is 100% working in this framework, because the framework is going to change. So it is more important, in our view, to develop an approach that is replicable, applicable, that is flexible enough in order to adapt to the choices that will be done by the member states. So that's why we have this flexible modular approach, and we want to make it available to European Commission, member states, stakeholders, in order to contribute to the decision-making process. So, for instance, concerning the single certificate, we don't know whether or not member states are going to choose this, but at least they have an example. They can see what it could look like in case they choose this. They have, yes, an illustration of something that's working. And also the technical challenges that we are facing. We think that even though we are working with tools that might not be the tools that the member states will adopt, so the EPC and SRI tools, probably they will face similar difficulties and challenges. In every member state, there are some tools that are already accredited for the energy performance certificates. So for sure, if they want to add the SRI to these tools, there will be also some interoperability aspects. There will be also some prerequisites. So to us, it's really important to document the challenges that we are facing, the lessons learned, and this will be very useful for the exploitation and replication activities of the project, and to support also the decision-making of the policymakers. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophie. So we have seen all these puzzle bits, and basically you will have the artwork of trying to gathering them around, or some fit, some already fit, and then you need to fill in the gaps. So great. So I will call now for the last presentation, and bear with us, we are a bit late, but the last presentation, Igor and Stavros will share the tool from the Evalexia project.
Thank you. So let's present you the methodology of the SRI Advisor tool we are developing in the easySRI project, as well to do a demonstration of this tool, isn't it, Stavros?
Yes, afterwards we will do the demonstration.
So, in the easySRI project, we have a stronger focus on the SRI indicator. This focus is realized by implementing the SRI Advisor tool. So, the SRI Advisor tool is the tool allowing the building owners and building users to select the most cost-effective building upgrade actions in order to raise the SRI class of one building by 1 letter or 2 liters or more. And the second, it's not a tool but methodology we are developing in the easySRI, the SRI methodology for districts. So here the presentation of today is more focused on the SRI Advisor tool. So this general description of the easySRI project has been presented this morning by Stavros already. This is the goal of the LLX project, which is the main goal, realize buildings as active utility nodes. You can see here that there is a schema showing a lot of information, but basically we have to develop a platform and innovative services, which are hardware and which are the software innovative services. There are more than 29 innovative services which are planned to be developed. One of these innovative services is the SRI Advisor tool. The main idea of this tool, as I said, is to help building owners and managers with tailored recommendations. So the first point is we are considering the building's real performances, building characteristics, in order to present, to give the cost of associated building upgrades to building owners and managers in order to help him to select the most cost-effective building upgrade actions. Yes. The functional view of this tool, you can see it here on this schema. On the example of one Smart Readiness series with 4 functionality levels. So the idea is to develop a cost database, SRI calculation tool, and optimization engine. And so the informations which are presented into the cost database, there are mainly 4 informations which are actions required to go from the functionality level 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, etc. The capex cost, the capex which are composed by the capex, the cost of the product, of the systems we need to buy to realize the requirements of one functionality levels, and also the installation time. So the manpower cost we need to install this product into one building. So the OPEX, which is a percentage of the CAPEX cost, and the SRI score upgrades for each of the building upgrades. And the SRI calculation tool, which is the online tool developed by CERT, based on the SRI generic technical framework. So this is the architecture of the tool, already presented by Stavros this morning. In the entrance of the tool, there is a questionnaires to collect the building features and building characteristics, as well user priorities. The second step is the SRI calculation engine in order to access the SRI score of the building. The cost database in order to simulate and to access the cost dimension of building upgrades. The optimization algorithm, which is based on the maximization of net NPV indicator, and finally presentation of the results to the final user. This tool is adapted, the costs in this tool are adapted for 30 European countries, which are so 27 European countries, plus Switzerland, plus Ireland, and once more. This is a big difference with another tool, similar tools. And here is an example of the cost database we have developed, which is composed by, if we are considering everything, by about 16,000 of lines, because there are about 200 pairs service flexible functionality levels, 3 cost dimensions, and adapted to 30 countries of Europe. And you can see here some challenges associated to the tool we have developed. So all these dimensions, action, CAPEX, OPEX, SRI score, and benefits, The capex depending from each country, so it's not the same manpower cost from one country to another, and the cost of systems and products vary in time. So it was a big challenge. So the cost identified in the 2024 probably will not be the same as in 2025 and 6. The actions could be different possible actions which can be realized to go from one functionality levels to another. And the benefits, so it's a complicated task because we need to access energy benefits from non-energy measures sometimes. So we need to monetize the savings. So finally, the benefits we have not considered into this tool. So we have considered only action, capex, opex, and the upgrade of the SRI score. So I give the floor to Sam.
I will do the demo. So what the SRI advisor is all about. Here we can see how the user interface of the whole platform from the Evelixia project looks like. We are a building engineer in this case, or a building user who intends to, I have to, just a moment. Now you can see better the full page. I don't know if it is readable. Okay. So I have plenty of buildings in my view. I choose to go into one building, so I get the general dashboard of the building. Let's say in our case we have an office building that we are able to also monitor general stuff in the building. When we proceed to the services offered by the Evelixia platform, we have as one of our options the SRI tool. In this case, we have two main tools, the SRI assessment and the optimization engine, or the SRI advisor. A basic input for our tool is to have an SRI assessment. If not, you cannot proceed. So let's start with the SRI assessment. Here is a typical tool like the one that have been presented previously. The calculation engine behind is also a legacy from easySRI, Smart Living EPC, D2 EPC, so it is well tested, it works. In our case, we add the general building information about the assessor and the current state of the building. So we proceed with a description of the domains. Here we have the heating system with all the available services on the building and the related functionality levels per service. So having completed everything, we go to the results page to see the SRI score of the building. So having completed this, we have one of our basic input parameters in our case for the optimization engine. The optimization engine takes into consideration, firstly, the SRI assessment, secondly, the data, the characteristics of the building, which means that we use the logbook of the building or the beam of the building in order to parse all the information and see how many spaces, how many windows, how many characteristics in general our building is comprised of. Why we should do this, you will see later on. And Igor has explained also. In our optimization strategy, we ask the end user, the tenant, the occupant, the owner of the building, which is the main focus area: energy efficiency, occupant comfort, grid flexibility, or all of them. We want to make a general overall optimization strategy for the building. So we also see what is the maximum SRI potential of the building, which means now we can click all the domains, all the services, and reach a max potential of 100%. So below we have a set of solutions that we can apply to each domain, but the first domain is the services with the higher SRI upgrade impact and the lower cost. So we can see here we have per renovation action, let's say, some characteristics: the upgrade on the SRI score, the estimated cost. So let's say in order to estimate the cost, we calculate how many times we have to install this kind of equipment. So for a heat generator control for heat pumps, let's say our building has 2 heat pumps. So we have taken this information from the BIM file. We have the cost of the control equipment for the heat pump, and we are able to estimate the cost. Also, we have the cost per impact, so we divide this number with the estimated cost with the impact to see, the impact with the estimated cost to see how much I upgrade my building according to what I give to my building, what I invest in my building. And regarding of the best options, the best services, I can also select, let's say, some other options available on my building. So as I click everything, I see the numbers on your right to increase. We increase the total investment, we increase the total SRI score, and we increase the SRI class if it would be increased. So now, having selected what we wanted, what we intend to do in our building, we get to the page of the results. So here we see what are the actual the end results were, and what services we have selected, which is the SRI upgrade impact, which is the functionality level upgrade, the total cost per service code, let's say, and the cost per 1% of SRI upgrade. So this, you can also get a report of this renovation roadmap, let's say SRI renovation roadmap. And this is pretty much up to this state, up to this development state, because this is a tool that is currently being developed. The methodology has reached around 90% of the development, and what you see now is under development, meaning that we intend to have some extra features on the user interface for the end user to see. And this is what we intended to present for today. Thank you for your attention.